Hi everyone, I'm Kinsey from O'Fallon, Missouri, and I'm going to talk to you today about shoulder stabilization for any shoulder stabilization exercises, but mostly for the throwing athletes, so baseball players, softball players. So especially now that baseball season is in full force over the summer, and athletes have not been able to work out like they normally do with COVID, 2-3 months of rest and not being able to work out, and now they're trying to go full force. So I'm going to show you a couple stretches and a couple exercises today to help kind of correct the muscle imbalances that might have occurred when you were taking a break at home. So the main thing that's important about shoulder stabilization is there's two types of stabilizers. There's dynamic stabilizers and there's passive stabilizers in the shoulder. And passive stabilizers or static stabilizers are like the ligaments in your shoulder, the joint holding it together, the labrum that kind of covers the socket and kind of creates a protection over the shoulder joint, and those are working all the time throughout anything, like when you're sitting up or in class or anything like that. Those are working to hold your shoulder in place. And then you have dynamic stabilizers, which are like the rotator cuff muscles, 4 rotator cuff muscles around your shoulder, and then the long head of the biceps tendon. Those are the main stabilizers of your shoulder. So whenever you're throwing or catching or anything like that, those muscles are contracting to keep your shoulder in the socket where it's supposed to go as you're going through those movements and those quick motions. Especially throwing, your shoulder has to be, lax enough to have that extra motion that requires throwing, but it also has to be stable enough to support it throughout those excessive motions and the high velocities that you're throwing at. And a lot of times people will work on the bigger muscles in your shoulder, the bigger muscles in your back, and the little muscles, the shoulder stabilizer muscles, get overlooked. And so that creates compensations in the shoulder when you're throwing, which can lead to impingement pain, front of the shoulder pain, back of the shoulder pain, difficulty reaching, difficulty throwing, that pain in the back of the shoulder you might have with throwing. So a lot of times those muscle imbalances those pains come from the muscle imbalances created by not working the small stabilizing shoulder muscles. So I'm going to show you a couple of those exercises today to work on specifically the smaller muscles in your shoulder. And then also the shoulder blade too. I'll show you a couple things to do with the shoulder blade too, because we can't forget about the shoulder blade. In order to throw and do that motion, your shoulder and your shoulder blade has to work together. So if we forget about the shoulder blade, it's gonna again create imbalances and different things like that. So we'll throw in a couple of shoulder blade exercises as well. So the first exercise, we're gonna start with a couple stretches. So it's really important, especially with the excessive external rotation that you need to throw. It's important to have that posterior capsule, so the capsule in the back of your shoulder to be moving like it should. Otherwise you won't be able to get that motion like you want to in throwing. And so the first couple of stretches are going to be to focus on getting that capsule stretched out and make sure it's stretched out good. So the first one we're going to do is you're going to bring it here, kind of hold at your elbow, and you're going to bring it across like this. So you could do it standing or you could do it sitting, and you're just bringing it over like this, and you'll feel the stretch kind of in the back of your shoulder here. So you can leave it straight like this, you can kind of curve it up like this, you can kind of mess with it until you get a good stretch in the back of your shoulder. And this one's going to be about 30-second hold, 3 to 4 times. You could do both arms too. So you're just coming across the body. You don't want to turn with it or anything. You want to stay straight and just pull across like this, and you should feel it in the back of your shoulder there. Another stretch is at home. You can use a towel, like a big bath towel, and you're going to put it, so if you're stretching your right shoulder, you're going to put it around like this so you can pull with your left, and then your other one's going to go behind your back, and you're just going to pull it up like this. So you want to stay straight, you don't want to slouch. Stay straight and pull it up. Again, you'll kind of feel it kind of in the back here. So you're just stretching, holding about 30 seconds, same thing 3 times, and you're coming up like this, and that's kind of stretching. Same idea, different stretch. So that one's another one, a 30-second hold. And then another one that kind of does the same thing. I'm going to show you on the table over here. So you're going to lay on the shoulder that you're stretching. So I'm stretching my left shoulder here. You're going to hold here, and it's going to be out straight, and then you're going to pull your arm towards your belly button. Like this. So you don't want it here or way up, you want it straight on, and you're just going to pull towards your belly button at an angle. Hold for 30 seconds, and you want to roll backwards. You want to roll kind of forward on it to stabilize it. Down like this. Another stretch you can do to kind of stretch your chest out here to kind of avoid the rounded shoulders is you can do a half foam, or you can get like a beach towel rolled up into a cylinder. And then you can do it on the floor, on your bed, or anything like that. You're gonna lay on it here, like this. And you're just gonna bring your arms out, and you're just gonna let it hang. And that's gonna stretch kind of this chest muscle right here. Same thing, you're gonna hold for 30 seconds, 3 times. And then another way you can do that one too, if you don't have a foam roll, you can use a bath towel or something like that, but you can go up to a doorway and do the same motion. So you're at the doorway and you're just kind of stepping through like this with the door frame. And that's another way to stretch out your chest as well. So those are some good stretches to do. Now I'm going to show you a couple of strengthening things to do for your shoulder. Okay, so here, I have like a TheraBand. We have a bunch of different colors on Therapy Essentials too on our website. So they go from light resistance to heavy resistance. So you can kind of buy what strength level you're at. You can always buy a couple if you want to progress. But we have these options too online if you want to buy a resistance band, because we can do a lot of stuff today. I'll show you could do with resistance bands instead of weights instead, in case you don't have those. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie a knot in the center here. So if you tie a knot in the center of it, you can slide it, you can shut it in a doorway. Now you don't have to have someone hold the band. So you make a little knot. I'm gonna shut it here, but you can shut it in a doorway at home. Good. And then, actually, so first one, so I just have it, I'll kind of show you. So I just have it on this cabinet because there's not a door next to me, but if you have a doorway, you'll just shut it right in the doorway about belly button height, so your shoulders like this. So first one you're gonna do is you're gonna hold it, you want your elbow at your side, and you want that 90-90, so you don't want it here, you don't want it here, you want 90-90 and straight out. So you don't want to start here, you don't want to start back here, you want to start right here, and then you're just you're going out and back in, out and then back in. And you don't want to like twist like this, you want to stay your whole body straight, isolate your shoulder, and just come out like this. So you're doing this is a good one to do. Like I said, you could just shut it in the doorway. You can have someone hold it too, but usually the doorway is easy. So you'll go out like this, and then once you do that, there's also, you go in like this. So you're here, and you're gonna go inwards. So I'm doing this motion. So the band's gonna be over here, and you're gonna go in like this with it. And then out, so you'll go both directions. Do you wanna hold it for me? Mm-hmm. Thanks. Okay, so here, and you're gonna go in like this. And again, you don't want to turn like this or anything like that. You want to keep straight and just the shoulder motion. You can also roll up a little towel and put it right here. So that way your elbow roll up a little towel here. That way it helps keep your elbow at your side like this. And then another one we can do, so this one you're just holding it, and it's a diagonal pattern. So we're gonna do 2 patterns. So you're gonna go here, your thumb's gonna face here, and you're gonna come up like this, and then back down. So there's a couple of combined movements, so it's working your shoulder and your shoulder blade muscles a little bit. So you're gonna come up and then down. So your thumb's gonna be pointing backwards, and then when you bring it up, it's gonna end pointing this way. So you do a little rotation with it. So you're here, rotating a little bit and coming up like this. Just like this. And you want to make sure you get the right resistance, because if you start to shrug, it's probably too heavy of a resistance. So if you're just doing this, that's not what you want. So you want to be able to stay straight. You don't want to shrug your shoulder. You just want to use your shoulder like this. Just like this. Okay, and then there's a couple I'm going to show you with a weight. So I have a 2-pound weight. If you have weights at home, or if you don't have weights at home, you can also use like a soup can or something. That's about 1 pound too, if you don't have the little hand weights. So the first one, I'm going to grab this towel roll as well, because I'm going to use it for this one. Then you're going to lay So the top arm is the shoulder you're gonna work, is the one you're working on. So you're gonna put the towel roll here right under your elbow, again, to kind of keep it from going up. You want it close to your body, and you're just gonna go up like this, and then back down. So similar to the band ones, but now we're laying on your side like this. So you don't wanna roll this way, you wanna stay forward, you just come up, and then slowly back down. Just like this. The phone got knocked out. Okay. And another one we're gonna do is on the table here, laying like this. And so this is what's called, you can do Y's, I'll lay like this so you can see my hands here. So you're gonna have two weights here, and you're just gonna go up, and then back down, and then up, and then back down. So it's not a big, you won't be able to go really high. You don't wanna raise up like this. You wanna keep your chest on the table here, and just isolate your shoulders. So you're gonna go up, and then down, just like this. Up, and then down. And if you wanna make it harder and add a little core in there too, because core is also, it's good to have a strong core when you're throwing, you can add your legs up a little bit like a Superman. So you can come up like this, and then back down. Up like this, then back down. So that's a progression if it gets easy. And another one, if you have a ball, you can do a couple like this. So you have two weights here. And you want to be on it like this. I'll kind of show you. So you're here like this, chest on the ball. And you're going to go straight out like this, and then back. So you want to make sure your arms aren't back like this or up. You want it straight ahead here. So you're going up, squeezing your shoulder blades, and then back down. Squeezing your shoulder blades and back down. So you don't want to shrug. So you're always squeezing your shoulder blades, but you're not shrugging with any of these. So you're up and back down. And another one we can do is called the W. So similar, you want your arm in the same spot, but instead of straight, you're gonna be bent like this. You're gonna go up like this and back down. Up, squeezing, and back down. So again, you don't want it up like this or back like this. You want it straight on like this and up like this. And then a third one on the ball is you're gonna have them straight back like this, and your palms are gonna be facing up towards the ceiling. You're gonna go up, then back down. Up, then back down. And with all these, the key is to squeeze your shoulder blades, but not shrug your shoulders. So you don't wanna be up like this, up like this. So if the weight is too heavy, sometimes you'll have to shrug. So that's a good clue to knock the weight down if you feel like you're shrugging. Another one, if you have this available at your house too, we can do it a couple ways. We can do some shoulder muscles. So you're here, like this. And you're gonna be kind of the same position you were on the ball. You're gonna be in a plank position like this. And then you're just gonna do little circles. So little circles, like 20 clockwise, and you're gonna do 20 counterclockwise. You don't want to do huge circles. You don't want to do big circles like uncontrolled. You want to keep it really small and controlled. Really small and controlled to use those shoulder muscles to stabilize as you're doing it. Just like that. And if you don't have this ball at home, you can also use, this is a 2-pound medicine ball, but you can use a soccer ball or a basketball or any type of circular ball. And you can stand, move this over so you can see the wall here. So if you stand at the wall here, you just put it straight like this, you're facing the wall, and you're just doing little circles like this. So clockwise, counterclockwise, again, you don't want to do big motions, you want to keep it really small, small and quick. Both ways. All right, and I have one more for you. And this is just, so I have a softball, you can do a baseball. This is just eccentric control of your shoulder too, because when you throw, you do eccentric and concentric, so your shoulder wants to stabilize in both of those motions. So this is a good way to practice the eccentric part of it. So you're holding the ball up like this, so I'm just straight out. You're just gonna drop it and catch it, drop it and catch it. That way you have to kind of do those quick motions. Just like that. So those are just a couple of strengthening exercises. So it hits a little bit of strengthening, a little bit of shoulder stabilizers, but all of those focus on the little muscles in the shoulder rather than the big muscles in the shoulder in order to stabilize throughout the motion. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Bye.